we will. Okay, so we shouldn't have any audio issues from here on out. Okay, so again, my name is or Najma Olson. I am the sister, one of the sisters of Paul DeJean and the daughter of Paul Horton. My sister Rashida Hooker is also with us, and we also have another brother, Chris, as well. Unfortunately, Chris wasn't able to join today. So we are celebrating the life of our brother, Paul DeJean. And he recently passed away in early part of July. And if you would like to just read this poem silently to yourself, and I will read it as well. A light went out on earth for me the day we said goodbye. And on that day, a star was born, the brightest in the sky. Reaching through the darkness with its rays of purest white, lighting up the heavens as once lit up my life, with beams of love to heal the broken heart you left behind, where always in my memory your lovely star will shine. And that was a poem that was recommended by someone in the family as well. And another one, may time soften your pain. In times of darkness, love sees. In times of silence, love hears. In times of doubt, love hopes. In times of sorrow, love heals. And in all times, love remembers. May time soften the pain until all that remains is the warmth of the memories and the love. And so definitely we want to talk today and remember Paul in the love that he shared, and he had a very strong love for his daughter Amani and his children. And we were able to get a couple of pictures. And so the last time I saw Paul, I believe, was in Portland in maybe 2018. And he was looking great and healthy and vibrant and as charismatic as I'm sure we all remember him. And the only thing you can't see in these pictures are his locks, but I do have a couple other pictures where you'll see that. And as we know, Paul loved the outdoors and really enjoyed that Pac Northwest part of the United States as well. So hopefully he would appreciate what we have put together. And I apologize, you may hear my dog in the background. And then these are some works of art created by Paul. And, you may remember him as someone who always creating and coming up with ideas and working toward a goal and just being very talented with his art. And so I believe in the 90s and in the early 2000s, and it's still a business. He had Bohemian Dinosaur, which he did a lot of advertisements and logos and things like that. And then the second piece, unfortunately, I don't know the name of that piece. And his dog Jocelyn, who looks similar to my dog as well, but that's another digital art piece that he created, as well as the one on the right. And that was the one on the right is for a festival of some sort. Okay, and then these are two of the newer pieces that Rashida and I were able to get from Paul's apartment. And Rashida, do you know what this raven is from?
Not particularly sure. I believe he was doing some logo concepts.
Okay.
But from what I saw, I think it is for a logo.
Okay. Okay. And I think that is mentioned up here apparently for maybe the Timbers Army, but this one, both of these look to have been created in 2018 by Paul, and this was in a sketchbook. And, something that we definitely wanted to get for Amani and the children is this artwork that Amani created for Paul. And the heart was on his refrigerator. And we were able to find that #1 dad sign in the living room. And I definitely think that that was something close to his heart. And he definitely would have loved to spend more time with her. And so I think it's great that we were able to get those items for her. And then this is a sketch from that same sketchbook. Looks like, I know Rashida had mentioned that he was talking about a ranch and for his family, and that looks like a totem pole in the front. So it looks like perhaps it would have been on the ranch. And then we have a Native American prayer. You can definitely, read it to yourself. I'll read it for those who may be visually impaired. So Native American prayer, I give you this one thought to keep. I am with you still. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on the snow. I am the sunlight on the ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not think of me as gone. I am with you still in each new dawn. And that was also something recommended by a family member as well. And some other pictures where you can actually see Paul with his locks, and then one picture with one of his kiddos there, Imani. And he definitely, the last time I saw him, that's exactly pretty much what he looked like. And he was definitely in good spirits, and still vibrant, charismatic, and very helpful.
What? That code was incorrect.
And then we have some pictures of the family. I did, ask for pictures. Unfortunately, we were kind of working on a time constraint, and I am not a graphics artist by any stretch, so I've done my best. But so we have Taja, who is a cousin of Paul, Rashida, and myself, and Chris, and Aunt Patricia, who is also Paul's aunt, and Aunt Patricia with her grandson, new grandson, and then our grandfather, Joe Horton, and Aunt Margaret, or Aunt Peggy, and then her brother, Uncle Leon. Unfortunately, I didn't have a picture to put up of Uncle Leon, but I hope I will be able to add that when I send the PowerPoint. And then Rashida and myself, we were in the airport. We were tired. This was after being in Portland for a few days and, going to Paul's apartment. So please be gentle on us with your critiques. And then Rashida, her 3 youngest children, Andrea, Ryan, and Yvonne, and our grandmother, Tina, or Ernestine Horton, and then Rashida and I again. And then I will also put these on a loop as well. And then our grandmother on that top left, Aunt Patricia again, and Aunt Patricia and our father, Paul, from way, way, way back. And Rashida at graduation, college graduation, and Rashida's 2 oldest sons, Darius and Marcus, and our cousin Brandon, and then our dad, and Crow, one of Paul's littlest ones. And so again, I will put this on a loop So that way that will continuously play. But I would like to ask if anyone would like to share anything that they remember about or that they would like to share that they remember about Paul, either when he was, a young person or even much later. Any positive memories or fun stories? I know I have one about an Easter celebration, but I'll wait. And please feel free to unmute yourself and share. You can put it in the chat, whatever you prefer.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Uncle Kerry, go ahead.
I am the son of your Uncle Leon.
Ah,
Okay. It is a real joy just to see your face. I have not seen you guys since you were very, 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 very little. Okay. And I've never met you guys as an adult. And basically that's my fault. I know Paul. Hold on one second. Can you see me now?
yes.
Okay. Oh, that's good. I got this one. I finally got it on the computer. I'm turning this off.
Okay.
I think I did.
Well, we can't
There we
see
go.
you on the computer. Okay, yeah, we can still see you.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway, I know all of your aunts and your grandmother, and one particular, I know I'm not being able to speak about Paul Jr., but your grandfather, Uncle Joe, was my only male uncle on both sides of my family.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And I had the good fortune to meet him for the first time and the only time. When they came to Chicago, my Aunt Mildred, her husband, and my Uncle Joe. And they drove me back to Connecticut. I was 11 years old.
Okay.
Okay. I'm currently 68.
Okay.
And so it was a very tragic feeling when I heard that my uncle had passed away. And so I should have made it a good point in my life to meet you guys. And I'm so sorry that I didn't get a chance to meet Paul. He seemed like a very interesting person. Especially said he was an outdoorsman.
Yeah.
You meet very few outdoorsmen. You just, especially people of color. But I made a determination. I wanted to be at least a part of this program. Even though I'm way here in Chicago, I find it was my fortune that I heard about it in time and not hear about it. Well, did you go to the memorial for Paul? Because I was never able to go to the memorial for his grandfather. Okay.
Yes.
And so I just thought I'd share that with you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And then, and so then you would be a cousin and not an uncle. So thank you for that.
I would be a cousin.
Yes. Yes. And thank you for your words. And I think the way I've been looking at it and the way Rashida has been looking at it, because we talked about it while we were in Portland, it really is what it is. And we have opportunities now because we're still in the present. So we have an opportunity to make any kind of changes we are able to. And I think we're using this as a great opportunity to connect. And so I'm happy for that and I'm grateful for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. And Paul was absolutely outdoorsy. He loved the outdoors. I remember a time, this was probably either the late 2000s or getting into like maybe 2010, 2014. And he was talking about being in the Redlands or in Northern California before he kind of made the progression to Oregon, and talking about being able to farm and being able to do things in an organic way, and he was really really into nature and the earth, metaphysical as well. I don't know Paul as well as I would like to have known him. We didn't really start connecting until I was much older. And I think that's the same for Rashida as well. But in that time that we did connect, I feel like I was able to get to know him as well as I could. So I did go to Portland, and my mom went with me, and we spent some time with Paul, and it was nice. I could not live there because of the rain and the weather, but he didn't like or had a thing about the sun affecting him, so that was definitely his neck of the woods. But I need the sun, a lot of sun. So I'm in Texas, and Rashida is in Georgia.
Wow.
And yes, and actually, our grandmother, Ernestine, Tina, she was living in Chicago toward the end of her life, early 2000s, and I was living in Indianapolis at the time, and then Ohio, and so I was able to visit her as well in Chicago, which was nice. And then we have another brother who is younger than Paul, who is in Florida.
Who is younger than Paul?
Yes.
How old is he?
He is 46.
Okay. Because I definitely want you and my son, who just turned 40.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And actually, I sent him the link. I think he had to work today, but
Okay.
I made a firm determination. I want to connect that part of the family to your part of the family, because for me and Paul, your dad, we on the clock. This is we'll be on a long clock, but we're still on the clock, and it would be shameful if we did not connect these dots. I think
Yes.
it's so important that you connect the dots, regardless if you see them or not. And I was telling Paul, your father, I said, we are now in the 21st century. We are the only group of people. Your children have to do this. Your mother and father didn't have to. We are the only group who had to live in the analog world, but transfer into the digital world.
Yes.
I told him that will never happen again unless there's some new stuff happening in the 22nd century,
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I thought, this Zoom process is so important because it allows you to be there without being there.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It allows you to be there without being there. And we have to take full advantage of that. Like you said, you're in Texas. She's in Georgia. I'm in Chicago. For you, that might be, yeah. But for me, that blows my mind, because never in my younger days, even in my adult days, could I have achieved something like that. Unless it was what? on the phone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or you
Right.
made a recording of something like that.
Right.
Live, you know. So I don't want to take up too much of that.
Oh, no worries, no worries. And even that, what you mentioned about going from analog to digital, I thought that also tied into Paul's artwork as well, because I know initially everything was, in the real world, analog, tangible. And then now you're able to make, like this one on the left, you're able to make art in a totally different way. And I think for some people I think prefer the old way, but I think we have to also embrace the new way as well. And I worked in a digital graphics design business, a printing house when I lived in Denmark, and I initially didn't think that digital art was as hard, I guess, or difficult, or if it took as much talent, but I learned that it absolutely does. And you could probably tell from the way that I put the pictures together that I don't have that talent. But so it might mean a little bit more to me, I think, that someone is talented in that way, since I am not. But and I know that Paul, he was away, because I think most of us are probably in the Midwest, like Chicago, and Connecticut, Massachusetts, the majority. But I came to the South, I guess 15 years ago, and Rashida's been in the South for a long time as well. And but we definitely need to, get back up there, so that way we can, meet people, and make those connections and connect those dots, like you said. Rashida, is there anything that you would like to say or share about Paul, or, the experience that we shared?
I was gonna say more on the farming and the ranching. I just wanted to let people know that I talked to him a couple of months ago, and he was wanting to build slash prepare a huge farm in Portland, right outside Portland, where he was going to organically grow his fruits and vegetables. He was also going to have animals there for ranching. And he wanted this to be the family farm for everybody, so everybody can connect with the animals and with nature, because, he was very creative and artistic in that way. He loved the idea of art in all its expressions. Um, he really, really loved his children. And he loved his family. He wanted to connect more with everybody. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you for that, Rashida. And yes, one of the things that stands prominently in my mind about Paul is organic farming, the outdoors, art, and then family, his children. I definitely think he would have thought he would have had more time, and so I think that's why it's important for us to seize our opportunities, that we still have. So I'm happy for that. And then I know, would anyone else like to say anything else about Paul or the family, or share something before I share this other Easter story? Okay, so I guess one of my sharpest memories is of all four children, Paul's children, spending Easter together. And I would say I was probably 9, and I wish I really had that picture, because you got to see all four of us together. So we went to our dad's home for Easter, and he was with Mary at that time, and so I forget where they were living. And again, I was 9; I don't really remember those specifics. But we were having Easter dinner, and I just remember all of us being there, and Aunt Pat was there, and I forget, everyone who was there, but it was a nice time. And, as a child, we were having onion soup, which I did not care for, was not into onions at all at that time. And Uncle Leon has tried to get on, but he's having trouble. I just got an email. So if someone can maybe send Uncle Leon the link, the YouTube link, or the information how to get on the Zoom, please do so. So I was not a big fan of onion, and Mary, our stepmom, had been so gracious as to make onion soup, but I wasn't enjoying it. And I remember saying that I hated the soup, which I would never say today. But I said I hated the soup, and then Aunt Pat told me that the word hate is very strong, and rather than saying you hate something, you should say that you don't understand it. And I've carried those words with me, into adulthood. But then at the table, I switched it to well, I don't understand the soup, meaning I still hated it. But at least I took her suggestion under advisement. But I just remember that being a great day, and I was really excited to be with my sister and my brothers. And my mom is from Jamaica, so I think I was probably looking for Jamaican food and not onion soup. Rashida, do you remember that Easter?
So I vaguely remember that Easter. And honestly, in terms of our brother Paul, that's the first and kind of only memory I have of him as a child, as me as a child. I remember running around the house, and then I think it was Mary telling us to come inside to have a blueberry muffin. And my concept of blueberry muffins was blueberries and muffins don't go together. So I remember saying a blueberry muffin, and she was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, I made blueberry muffins. I was like, that doesn't even sound good. But she was like, I remember one of the things she did was point out, everybody's here. All of the children are here. You see Naj, you see Chris, and Paul, who you rarely get to see, is also your older brother. And he was sitting at the kitchen table, like kind of leaning against the wall, I think. And I walked over to him and stuck my hand out because, when you meet somebody, you're supposed to shake hands. So I shook his hand and was like, nice to meet you. But he was much older than me and uninterested in the interaction of this child. He was a teenager, and I was very, very little. But,
yes.
Yeah. Other than that, I remember sitting outside the house in the yard, I think, in the front yard with Chris and playing with some flowers. But that was pretty much all I remember of that day.
Yeah. That was so I think if I was 9, you were probably 7, and he was probably 20. So yeah, he probably didn't want to really be bothered with us at that time. And I remember trying to dress like Chris because I wanted to, be just like him, I think, at that time. And I think we had like rugby shirts on with numbers, which I would never wear any other time. I was more of a girly girl at home. But well, yeah, I do remember being outside, and I remember the house kind of either maybe like one of those salt box houses where the roof either comes all the way down to the first level, but there was something weird about the architecture. I remember that part, but I think it was either in Massachusetts or Connecticut. I'm sure Connecticut.
Yeah, I think it was in Connecticut. It probably, I know it wasn't where I'm from, so I know we had a long ride, but I'm thinking it was like New Haven-ish
Okay,
area.
that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. And then I know Paul worked for Patagonia in Nevada when he lived in Reno for a very long time. And then after that, he headed north to Northern California. And then after that, he went ahead and made his way to Oregon, which I thought was very odd because again, I'm into sunlight. I know he is not, but I did not realize that many people of color live in that area of the country. And why would you want to live there with all that rain? I was so confused. But yeah, so he's moved around a lot, and I believe he also lived in New York, and I think Little Paul and Big Paul lived together in New York for a period of time, and then but so he's been, I guess, all across the country.
Yeah, he spent think about a year in DC.
A year. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And I know he was in Chicago for a little while as well. Yeah. And it's so interesting how the family, I guess, facial structure is pretty constant because everyone looks, you know, similar. You can tell that we're
Related.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And now the only thing I do remember grandma really having red hair. I think her hair was really dark in this picture,
Oh
but
yeah, but she was a fly girl.
Yeah, she had
I'm saying your grandmother was up to date.
mhm.
I mean, there was nothing, she was like the real deal when it came to staying current with the times.
right.
She wasn't the one that's, doing no, oh, she was never like that.
No,
She
no.
was never like that, and I really, I used to love to go see her.
Yes.
I used to love to go see her. I mean, she was like one of my coolest aunts.
Oh, wow.
She was my coolest aunt. I only had two cool ones, my Aunt Lucille and her. Because I go over there and I can do anything I want. Blah, 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 blah. She ain't gonna rat me out.
Yes.
But I'd like
Yes.
to make mention. Chris, are you on? Christopher.
Yeah, I'm on.
Okay, you need to meet Najwa. Okay, remember I talked about, I said, this is a connection. This is my son, Chris.
Hi, Chris. It's nice to, and we have another Chris too. So and this is Rashida as well.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing?
Doing well, doing well. And so you just recently turned 40, Chris?
Yep, June 5th.
June 5th. Oh, wow.
Oh,
Okay.
happy belated.
Yes, happy belated birthday.
And welcome to the 40s.
Yes.
Yeah,
Be,
thank you very much.
be aware that your body changes. It seems like as soon as you hit 40, things seem to change. So
I
just
guess
be
I've been
aware.
40 for a couple years then.
Well, just wait.
doing
It
some
might
changes.
get worse.
Give us a reminder.
Trying to reverse time a little bit.
Yes,
Day by
exactly.
day.
That would be nice. Yes, I have decided I'm going to have an additional vegetarian day to my week and one day less of meat. So hopefully that will help.
Mm.
That little bit can go a long way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And in where you live in Chicago as well?
No, I'm currently in Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, wow. Okay. I have an aunt on my mom's side who lives near Columbia. I can't remember the town, but that's a nice area.
It's not too bad, you know. The weather's nice. It just has a lot of rain during the summers. But other than that, it's pretty good. We don't get any really severe weather.
That's nice.
Nothing like up north.
Yes, yes. I've had my fill of snow, nor'easters, all of that. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done with that. Been done with that for quite some time now.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And well, it's nice to meet you, and hopefully we can connect and um, get to know you better as well.
Yeah, I would like that.
And then does anyone else have anything they'd like to say or that they'd like to add before we end the celebration of life okay, so that was Yodi. I'm not sure. Okay, I didn't even see that. So Yolanda, Yodi, I know her as Yodi. Our cousin was on the line as well, and Aunt Margaret.
Is that
And
Yodi Yodi?
yes, Yodi
Yes.
Yodi.
You know, I don't know her name. I didn't know her name was Yolanda. I really didn't. All I know is Yodi Yodi.
Exactly. Exactly.
Better say
Hi.
something, woman.
How are you?
We're
Good.
pretty good. We're pretty good. How is everybody?
Oh, Margaret too? Oh, goodness. Y'all done made my day. Y'all just made my day.
Hi. Oh, is Big Paul up there?
You know, I just tried to call him.
He's not on the line. I sent him.
You know,
I sent him a message.
I had to try to hook him up.
Oh,
with
okay.
Zoom.
My bad.
I
All right.
tried to-
Everybody's doing well.
Yes.
Rashida
you guys doing?
and Rashida and Najma, y'all went above and beyond. I mean, this is amazing.
Thank
This is
you.
amazing. And I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for being here too. I wish it was under different circumstances, but I'm
Amen.
glad that we are using the opportunity wisely.
Amen.
Yes. And trying to reconnect. And do you have any memories of little Paul that you'd like to share?
He was the last time I saw little Paul he was little Paul. He was a baby. She was living on Sherman Avenue.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's been that many years ago that I saw little Paul. He was beautiful though. He was a beautiful kid. And I said, "Oh my goodness, Mary!" I said, "Look at," you know, bragging about. You know how that goes. You know, he had a beautiful son. Beautiful.
Uncle Leon was trying to get on.
Oh yeah, Leon was trying to get on too. He said he can't get on because he doesn't know how to work it. I think.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah, I just sent him the link in Facebook Messenger to the YouTube.
Okay.
I did too. I sent it to him too.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully he can. Oh yeah, he sent a thumbs up, so I think he's good to go. And then I'll send the recording as well.
Now, did Paul become an artist?
Yes.
Yes. Because I thought that I was told that he became an artist, and I said, "Oh my goodness, that's excellent, excellent."
Yes.
I can't draw.
I can make great stick figures and maybe the sun and some birds.
I can do birds that are flying.
Hey, Naja,
Yes.
you giving me Trisha vibes, girl.
Well, I'm
Yes,
sure.
yes.
I'm sure. Absolutely. And it's so interesting because Rashida and I, this trip to Portland for Paul and Amani, this was really the first time that we've been alone as adults, and so we were really able to talk and bond and connect.
Oh,
And And it's like looking in the mirror sometimes. It was kind of freaky and weird because I'm like,
Yes.
wait a minute. I guess the DNA is so strong. Goodness.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So I was not expecting that.
Mhm.
It was very, but I was like, I feel more like we're twins, but we're,
Right.
you know, but we weren't even raised together.
Right. I
Um,
think the same thing.
yeah. So, and I guess as a child, I thought that we had such a much larger age difference, but it's only 2 years. But as kids, you always feel like somebody, if they're only a year younger, they're like a baby and you can't play with them. So, so I'm sure that's what was going on. But yeah, so it was definitely nice to spend that time together, and I definitely look forward to spending more time with family. And it actually highlighted for me that I think the pandemic highlighted it for me as well. But between the pandemic and then losing people, because I lost my grandmother, my mother's mother, a few months ago as well. And even when someone is older and maybe ill, it doesn't make it easier, but you kind of expect, because of age, you kind of try to mentally prepare yourself. But then things like this happen, and you have to remember that, no one is promised any time, and we just have what we have.
Amen. You're right.
Can I read something, share about family?
Absolutely.
Okay. It says,
What happened to this picture?
well, hold on, wait. Can you see me? Oh. Boo! There I am. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now
You
we
see
can
me
see
now?
you.
Okay.
Yes, we can see you.
All right. It says, outward appearance is not important. What counts is what inside our hearts.
Mhm.
Are there heart-to-heart bonds? Some families may always be together physically, but are estranged at heart. Some families can only get together for brief periods, but manage to enjoy a concentrated and lively heart-to-heart communication whenever they do meet. Families that share bonds of closeness based on day-to-day efforts are families in which people feel comfortable and at ease with one another, no matter where they are or what they're doing.
Amen.
Okay.
Mhm.
That sounds right on time and
Very
accurate.
Nice.
So I kind of read that because when I was younger, my family, especially my mother, she was definite. You got to know your kin. You got to know your kin. You got to know your kin. So we would always have family gatherings. She made sure that I was 11 years old and I'm on the plane going to Connecticut. Okay, I mean, I used to go to Connecticut every year from the time I was 11 till I was 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
She would ship me off that in the summer.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would, be with Janet and my father's and your grandfather's sister Gladys and Mildred, and I had a great opportunity to meet your great Annie Yates,
Oh, wow.
who was
Wow.
another cool lady, okay, classy lady, and I didn't realize how fortunate I was that I was able to make that journey, at such a young age, because a lot of people at my age at that time weren't able, unless they went with family or something. I was able to go singularly.
Mhm.
They would put me on the plane and they would make sure that the stewardess would watch me until I got to Connecticut. And then as soon as you get off the plane, somebody was waiting as I was coming down the ramp. You know what I mean? So there was no, separation in terms of me being alone.
Right.
But as I think about that, right now and how such a wonderful benefit that I had that opportunity, because I would never have known, or probably have never gone to Connecticut. It's such a distant place of where, most people of color live. Okay. Most of them is in Mississippi. I have relatives in New Orleans and in California, but not in the East. So, I really thought that was a tremendous benefit. But I also think about it right now, how my son and I were just talking about, we need to have a Zoom family gathering. A Zoom family gathering. And today, this is the nucleus. This is the pilot group. This little group right here, Rashida and you and Chris and Yodi. That's the nucleus. I'd like to see this expand 25, 30 people. Who knows, 50. I think there will be a tremendous benefit because we have this great opportunity now, this great opportunity to use this technology, It's not just for, it's going to be here and gone tomorrow. This is going to be something that you're going to have to share your children with. Okay.
Yes.
And
Yes.
since, everybody is not able to, family reunion
Mhm.
in the one-on-one or face-to-face, this is another form of that.